Hello and welcome to page 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the Preliminary A Piano Workbook of the K-Music and Design Workbook series. In this video, we are going to be looking at the treble clef and the bass clef. So let's start with the treble clef, also known as the G clef. And we'll talk about why the treble clef is also known as the G clef on page 7. In piano, the treble clef is primarily played by the right hand. So let's start by numbering our fingers. So our thumbs are always number 1, and you can pick whichever color you would like to color your fingers on this page, or you can leave it blank, but we're going to talk about what numbers go with which fingers. So whenever you are playing a song and the song asks for finger number 2, you will know that finger number 2 is your pointer finger. I'm going to go ahead and circle the numbers as we talk about them. As I've mentioned before, our thumbs are always number 1. Our pointer finger is finger number 2 in piano. Our middle finger, finger number 3. And our ring finger is finger number 4. And last but not least, our little pinky fingers are finger number 5. Let's move on to page 7, drawing the treble clef. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to draw the treble clef, and you can create your own way if you would like, still keeping this same squiggly fanciness. If you remember from page 4 and 5, our second line, right here, is the note G, or our G line. And if you haven't already checked out page 4 and 5, or the previous videos, please head over and check them out now, as they will help with learning the next few pages. The treble clef is also known as the G clef because it circles that second line, the G line. Let's move over to our first example, this one right here. Let's start kind of on our F space, right there, make a nice little dot, and circle the G line. And then what we're going to do is swivel all the way up past the high F line, that's right here, and make a nice little loop and straight down to the bottom. And then imagine we have our C, that very important note, that super special note of the musical alphabet, and we're going to loop all the way around to that C. So let's try that version again. Starting on our F space, and looping all the way around that G line, squiggling up past our F line at the top, and making our way all the way down and around to that middle C. Excellent. So we can do it backwards as well, starting on our middle C, looping around, straight up, and swiggling down past our F line up here, way past down to the E line, and looping around, circling that G line right here, and finishing off on our F space. So let's try that again. Starting down by our middle C, down and up to the top, around squiggly, looping that G line and ending off on our F. You can choose where it feels the most comfy for you to start. You can start literally anywhere on that F line up there, going down, making 2 steps out of this clef, or you can make more than 2, 1, looping around, make the loop here, and then up and around. However you go about making that treble clef, just make sure it still has this fancy feel to it, that loop around, straight down, and finishing with our dot, or starting with your dot. Let's slide down just a little bit. There is a saying that I have posted up in my studio that says, "It's okay, they struggled too." And some of the most famous piano composers and artists, such as Bach, Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, and a few others, all have a similar treble clef design, but none of them fully look like this original treble clef design. I'm going to try and remake Beethoven's design of the treble clef. His is my favorite representation of the treble clef because it is very basic. So this is kind of what his looks like. And then Schumann's is my second favorite because it kind of looks like a B. It starts around here and down it goes. For this page, page 7 of the Preliminary A Piano Workbook, let's try and recreate the treble clef to the best of our ability. So keep on practicing and fill up this whole page. Let's move on to page 8, the bass clef left hand. So just like page 6 with the treble clef right hand, let's number our fingers. So the bass clef, the majority of the time for piano players, is played with our left hand. And our thumbs are always number 1. And again, you can color your fingers or this whole page however you would like, as long as you remember, thumbs are always number 1. Our second pointer finger is number 2. Our middle finger is number 3. Our ring finger is number 4. And our teeny tiny pinky finger is number 5. I'm going to add a wrist and a bracelet. Even a smiley face palm. Smiles, because we know which fingers go with what number. Once you're done coloring in and memorizing those finger numbers, let's head on to workbook page number 9, drawing the bass clef. So let's zoom in here. Just like the treble clef, our bass clef also has a letter name to it. The bass clef is also known as our F clef. This is because these 2 dots here are on either side of our F line in the bass clef. And again, you can head over to the video for pages 4 and 5, or take a look back in your workbook to double check that this indeed is our line F. And again, there are a few different ways that we can create this bass clef. We can start on that nice F line and make our way up to the A line and around to our G line at the bottom. And this one over here goes right in the middle of our A space, and I've noticed that mine goes a little bit lower to that G line. And again, you can make it your own as long as we keep that same structure as the bass clef. Making sure we always have those 2 dots on either side of our F line. If we want, we can have a small dot moving around. We can have a big F line dot. Kind of have this one a little bit more narrow, almost like making a heart. Or we can start from the bottom. Oh, don't forget the dots. We can start from the bottom. If you want to start on your G line and make it around, you for sure can do that too. Start halfway around, as long as you have that kind of similar heart shape right here. And I'm sure our great composers of the past may have even just done this with a few little dots. So make the bass clef your own, but still keep that same structure of the bass clef, the original version, right here. Oh yeah, I can't even see these dots. There we go. Sure, you can even make a little 7 with a few dots. Same structure, just pointier. Or even a big circle. Completely going out. Nah, that one's too far. That one's gone too far. Your imaginations can go wild, but we have to always reel them back in ever so slowly. Awesome! If you have been following along in your workbook with these videos, you have now completed page 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the Preliminary A Piano Workbook of the K Music and Design Workbook series. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting over on Instagram. So find the picture that came out today of one of these pages and comment down below on there, subscribe, and consider supporting me on patreon.com/kmusicanddesign so that I can continue to create more musical videos and more musical workbooks for fun, easy learning. Happy learning!